Okay, so hopefully we have everyone on the call. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the BA Success Workshop. If you're looking to succeed as a BA, then you're in the right place. Right now, I believe that we've got about 27 to 30 of you in this workshop. I have everyone on mute right now so we don't get distracted, but if you have any questions, simply press the notify button. And remember, there's no such thing as a silly question. However, I do ask that you keep your questions to the end as we have a lot to cover today. In this workshop, I'm going to go over the Business Analyst Interview, what to expect, the core characteristics the interviewer is looking for, and some business analyst terminologies. I'm also going to go over some important business analyst interview questions, discussions, and sample answers that you can start practicing from right away. I'll be diving into details as I'm not a fan of holding anything back. I understand that you want this job. People around you are counting on it as well, and you need all the help you can get. So grab a pen, paper, and some good lighting because you will be taking notes. While you do that, let me start by giving you my story and a couple things we're going to cover today. As you already know, my name's Andy Hart. I graduated with a business degree in what seems to be a very, very long time ago. And right after university, I worked as an investment analyst, but I always had an interest in technology, business analysis, and process improvement. So I knew that a business analyst position would be the best fit for me. I applied everywhere and I'd get interviews, but never the job. As you know, I was rejected from 11 positions before I finally realized what exactly the business analyst interviewer was looking for. I compiled a complete list of the interview questions, core characteristics, terminologies, and basically everything I needed to ensure that I aced the business analyst interview. In the end, this system worked and I was offered not one, but 7 business analyst positions. I picked the one in banking because that's what I was into up to that point. Thereafter, I worked with implementing technology solutions in several large Fortune 500 companies, particularly streamlining finance and accounting processes to improve efficiency. Now, I'm a senior manager as well as a senior business analyst and manage large-scale projects. I also recruit business analysts from time to time and understand precisely what it takes to crack the business analyst interview. I want you to know I've been on both sides of the table as a business analyst interviewee and a business analyst interviewer. As an interviewee, I was always nervous, scared, and focused on being confident. You know the guy who's muttering, "Be confident, be confident, be confident," under his breath as he walks into the interview room? Yep, that was me. You may not be able to relate to this, but as a kid I was extremely shy, awkward, and I would isolate myself from all the kids around me. The doctor said I would grow up to be an extremely shy and anxious person. My mom didn't believe a word of that and did everything she could to help me be more confident. Moms are awesome. My mom instilled in me the confidence to meet new people and make a positive impression. She was constantly pushing me in front of others to ensure that I got the exposure I needed to grow out of my shell. All her efforts certainly helped, but I found myself focusing on being confident to such an extent that I neglected everything else. So when I was going into my business analyst interviews, I was answering them confidently, but I was not hitting the points the interviewer was looking for. Far from it. I mean, if we were playing golf, I'd have the smoothest golf swing that even Tiger would be jealous of, but the ball would only move a few feet. Backwards. It took me some time to learn that you can't just walk into a business analyst interview with just your resume, basic preparation and confidence. You must understand specifically what the interviewer is looking for and what to do and say to ensure that you hit those check marks across the board. To be specific, I was rejected from 11 different business analyst positions. It took me 11 tries before it finally clicked, and I could see exactly what the interviewer was looking for with the questions that were being asked. I've done business interviews on both sides of the table. It's very interesting. Once you've been on both sides, you sort of get very intimidated when you're being interviewed, and when you are the interviewer, you sort of get annoyed that you have this thing in your schedule that you got to go get rid of, and so I'm going to demystify a lot of stuff. I think the more you know, the better prepared you are, the less intimidating it is, and the better you perform in your business analyst interview. I don't know about you guys, but I was scared to death when I was an interviewee. Literally scared to death, and I realized that it wasn't necessary. So a big part of this is familiarity, and the other part is skills. My goal for today is a couple of things. First is to give you familiarity with the business analyst interview process. Second, to give you a couple of key skills that will allow you to make a positive impression and ensure that you stand out from all the other interviewees. My other goal for today is to give you confidence and self-assurance. I was very scared going through this process. However, after 11 rejections, I did fairly well. I don't usually talk about this, but I received offers from all the companies I interviewed for, except maybe one. Let's see, there was JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Procter & Gamble, and ExxonMobil. Like I said, once I knew the system, the interview process became very predictable. I will also give you some insight on what worked well for me. Now, there's more than one way to be right. This is not the only way to succeed in your business analyst interview. This is one way. This is a way. So try to have an open mind today and then sort of take what you want from it and use what you can. A couple of things of how this workshop is intended to be different. I mean, I don't know what you guys have seen so far, but there are a couple of things that we will be talking about that I never saw other websites and business analyst interview books do. The first thing is I'm going to be talking a lot about the business analyst interviewer's mindset. Sort of get into the psychology of why they do the things they do, and if you understand what they are thinking, it's a lot easier to impress them. Sort of like the best way to do in an essay. If you know what the professor looks for when he or she marks, it's a lot easier to write an A+ essay. So once you understand how the interviewer thinks and what they're looking for, then everything makes sense. This is the first thing we're going to cover. I call these the 9 core characteristics the business analyst interviewer is looking for. The other thing I'm going to do is go into some basic business analyst terminologies that you should know and use in your interview. The premise behind this is, if you can communicate in a manner that a business analyst communicates for a business analyst position, then you will convey to the interviewer that you are the best fit for the position. Now, we'll be talking about the concept of fit later on, but for now, just know that fit is one of the most important things the interviewer is looking for. Do you fit with the role? Do you fit with the department? Do you fit with the culture? Etc., etc. I'll also be providing you with some business analyst interview questions that you'll be asked, along with a discussion of what the interviewer is looking for and sample interview answers. This should give you a good starting point. Let me talk a bit about why I'm doing this. As you can imagine, being a senior business analyst and having gone through a challenging interview process, and also do some business analyst recruiting myself, I have a pretty cool story to tell, so I do. But what usually happens is I get asked by my friends, my family, distant relatives, and even random emails from people I meet during my speaking engagements to help them or their kids do well on their upcoming business analyst interview. Now, I'm a nice guy. I hate saying no. Just ask my wife. You can guess who's been doing the dishes for the past week. Nevertheless, there's absolutely no possible way I can help everybody. I just don't have the time. So this is my attempt at sharing what I know without being put in an awkward position. The second reason is that there's a charity that I support. It's called the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. It began in 1982, and its primary mission is to cure spinal cord injury by improving the quality of life for people living with paralysis. You've heard of Christopher Reeve. He used to play Superman before he got thrown off a horse that left him paralyzed with a spinal cord injury. I have taken over 20 hours preparing these videos, the prep course and all of the materials to help you crack your business analyst interview. I hope it's okay if I take just 2 minutes of your time talking about the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. 3 years ago, my very best friend and his family were in a car accident. They were driving at night, it was raining, the roads were slippery, and there was hardly any visibility. Out of nowhere, a drunk driver veered onto oncoming traffic and hit my friend's car head-on. This tragic accident left his daughter paralyzed. It was a difficult period for all of us, but we found the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, and they helped his daughter with the equipment, resources, support, and love they needed to get through this injury. Personally, I had never supported any charity before this. I believe that people should empower themselves to get through their struggles. But after watching the great people and volunteers from the Reeve Foundation like Ashley, Samuel, and Julie really help us get through this was an eye-opening experience. Their help made a life-changing difference, and I try to do what I can to support them. So if you find this material to be useful, please take some time to donate $20 to the Reeve Foundation. Okay, that's all for my guilt trip. If you've come across my other training videos, then you already know that I'm a huge golf fan, so I apologize if I keep giving golf examples, but all my examples do have a point, even though they have a lot to do with golf. So, for example, I often say that being a business analyst is like a game of golf. The end goal is to try to get the golf ball into the hole. However, to get there, you're going to face obstacles and challenges. To overcome these challenges, you must use the right tool, whether that's the driver, the wedge, or the putter. Or in business analyst terms, you'll have to perform elicitation, requirements gathering, enterprise analysis, and validation. If you don't know what these are, then I would suggest you get up to speed on the terms business analysts use.